Hallo deine Majestät.
So that, guys, is German for Hello Your Majesty. And the reason why is the car that we're going to unbox here was known for chauffeuring around diplomats, kings, actors, celebrities, pretty much the elite of society. So what we have is the Mercedes Benz 600 series, and this is the limousine version. And made by Gain Corps. A long time ago, I did a video on their car transporter, and that thing is just awesome. I recommend you check it out. That thing is loaded with so many cool details, and even though it's an expensive model, it's huge. It's actually a relatively good value. So this packaging is quite interesting. It reminds me of a famous painting called Nighthawks by Edward Hopper. It's a painting of a diner where you just see this window. I'm wondering if this packaging is influenced by that. And I noticed there's a 35 here. If anyone knows what these numbers are on the boxes, please leave a comment. Is this a 35th model? I don't know. Okay, so here we got a bunch of stuff here. The legal stuff, caloric intake values, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's open this up. Now, the Mercedes Benz 600 was produced between 1963 to 1981, and it replaced a W189. They sold over 2,600 of these 600 series, and 300 of which were limousines, what we're looking at. It was powered by a 6.3 liter V8 engine up front, making around 250 horsepower, and it had a very complex system within it. It was a hydraulic pressure system that powered all the windows and the seats and the sunroof, the trunk, automatically closing doors. All that stuff was driven by hydraulics at over 2,000 psi, which would kill you if that thing probably leaked. Let's see here. I bought this model, guys, from a website called Small Ants Model. You can just search up small ants, like insects, and you'll see the website. And I think those guys must open these things and wrap them in this additional saran wrap or plastic wrap, because it happened in another model I bought from them, and I don't see this on the transporter that I got from this brand. So I guess it's nice. I mean, they're inspecting the models, and then they're ensuring that it doesn't rock around, because like this one, there's no pegs keeping it in place. So it's just additional insurance. I think it's not a bad idea, as long as it doesn't mess up the paint. Okay, so I guess if you're interested, we could look at this. And that's a highly reflective nameplate, and nice three-dimensional lettering cut into it. So it's nice. Okay, nothing on the bottom though. Alright. So let's get into the model here, and you'll notice now there is a bit of that residue though from the plastic wrap, so let me see if I can get that out. Alright, so the paint doesn't have a problem, but it does seem to have a little scratch in the moonroof there, the sunroof, so that's a shame. I'm really scared to hold this thing, because if I drop it, that Mercedes emblem is gonna bend, and I'll probably never bend it back into its original position. So keep in mind, I'm gonna try to be a little careful here. Okay, let's start with the front view on this time around. So obviously the star is quite great. I mean, it's a photo etched piece of metal. It's super thin. And then also this grill is a separate piece of metal. It's photo etched with all these tiny little vent holes. So that's really cool. The blue emblem, let's see if I can focus in on that. It doesn't seem to have been hit properly. It wasn't printed right. So that's too bad. GCD, quality control, GCD. But look at that grill detail. That's very nice. Super tight. Okay, and then while we're at it, let's look at these headlights. I mean, look how nice those are. It's not just that there's a piece of clear plastic, but it looks like there's light buckets behind it with all the different lights. You know, you got the round main light. It looks like a silver middle light. Maybe that's like a running light. And then you got the turn signals with some orange in there. I don't know if that's paint or part of the plastic, but it looks very good. I mean, I am magnifying this a lot. Look at my fingerprint there. So it does have a printing. It says Pullman. So very good. Okay, so now looking at the hood here, pretty nice contouring. A little bit of orange peel perhaps, or again some residue. This is where you get really careful. I don't want to snag that emblem. Okay, so the panel lines seem to be alright. And then this maroon paint, it's not metallic, it's just regular maroon. But look at these wiper blades. They're really nice. They're photo etched metal and they're bent 90 degrees, which is better than many resin models. A lot of resin models just have flat wiper blades, but these are actually bent like a real one. So I know Lamley Group did a video on this, but so he mentioned the steerability. So that's very nice. Look at that. Very cool. Treaded tires, of course. A lot of under details. Not that I really care so much because I don't display my cars upside down. But the exhaust system is nice because you have those thin tubes running to the mufflers. So pretty cool. Alright, let's continue to the side here. So the silver trim around the whole bottom part of the car is pretty well painted on there, as well as these silver door handles and a tiny little keyhole. There's a bump. The bump is part of the casting, and then it's hit with some silver. So yeah, the panel lines, yeah, they're pretty good. They're not super wide, so they're fully acceptable. And then you got silver paint here on the what look like molded windows. So there's a little distortion in the windows, but see if you can see relatively well. You can try to look at the picture behind the car through two windows. So I guess it's alright. Alright, so the wheels now, yeah, you got this Mercedes star right there in the center with maroon paint. You got a little white wall stripe on the tire. So that is very nice indeed. Okay, so we have a separate chrome bumper here, chrome plastic bumper. There's those exhaust tips. There's no dimensionality, but they are really small diameter, so I can understand why they're just flat. But it's nice that they actually have some black on the ends, so that's better than just silver. Pullman license plate looks good. Keyhole printing looks good. This is secondary little bumper there. Alright, and then these taillights are pretty nice as well. Look at this. A good break between the orange and the red. Some panel lines in the taillights. And then the printing of the badge there is good. 600. So very nice. Alright, so I am liking this model. Okay, I got my fingerprints all over it. So yeah, as I mentioned, that scratch in the moonroof there, not so hot, but maybe it's no, I think it is cut in there. It's not lint. Alright, so let's see about this side on the outside if there are any issues. If I was really picky, there's a contaminant there that's quite noticeable. Alright, but otherwise it's just my fingerprints that are mucking this up. Now the side mirrors, though, they're a nice little chrome piece of plastic, and there's no insert, which I guess is acceptable because the whole thing's chromed anyways. So yeah, alright, I guess that's alright. So the interior, I think that's obviously something we want to take a closer look at, being a limousine. Let's try to start with the front part. Okay, so there's actually a vertical window separating the driver from the occupants, from the passengers. So hold on here. It is on the low setting. This flashlight's just so bright. But obviously we have a black steering wheel, and there's some a center console, but no additional paint or anything like that. Let me try to look at it here. Well, alright, so let's just try to look at the back now. I am seeing some silver there on the door, and wood trim. So you got your burled walnut door trimming, and the door handle itself is silver or chrome, so that's very nice. Good ribbing on the seats. The front as well. Now I can see on the front there's wood trim up there, so that carries across. Let me look at it from this side and maybe we can see something different. Maybe the floor. No, okay. There's the door handle on the front door. Alright, and a little dot maybe it's a button for the power windows, those hydraulic windows. And then the dashboard has a little wood trim going across as well. I'm trying to see if the steering wheel has like there's silver trim on the steering wheel, but is there a Mercedes badge? Boy, I do not want to drop this thing. Okay, that's the better view. Yeah, it looks like there's a silver star in the center of the steering wheel. Now the challenge is there anything on the instrument cluster? I don't know if there's any gauges there or not. There's molded in circles for the gauges, but I don't see any sort of graphic or decals, so it's just plain brown like the rest of the dashboard. Okay, so pretty acceptable, pretty nice interior, I guess. It's not the best interior I've seen. I suppose it could have been better, but it's good enough, I guess. So the question is, guys, what do you think about this model? Do you think it's worth the prices that are out there? I think it is. Mainly because the exterior for me is more important than the interior. Although there is a version of this car with the back half of the roof cut off for the dignitaries to stand up and be assassinated, apparently. So that is something where maybe the interior is a little bit more detailed. But for this hardtop version, you know, you got the Mercedes star there, and then that really highly detailed set of headlights and the grille itself. The taillights are well done, so I think it's quite awesome, this thing, as it's spinning around. One thing I didn't mention, it also has an adjustable air suspension, because, you know, these celebrities like to travel in style and luxury. And some of the people that have owned this would be Elvis Presley, Hugh Hefner, Rowan Atkinson, the King of Thailand, the last King of Thailand, Ferdinand Marcos, Idi Amin, he's evil, Kim Jong-un, questionably evil, Pablo Escobar, evil, and Saddam Hussein, evil. Saddam Hussein's car is actually owned by the Peterson Museum in Los Angeles. If you guys have never been to LA, if you ever do go, I highly recommend you check out that museum, because they have a lot of cool cars, as well as a Nethercut museum if you're into really old classic cars like Bugattis and stuff like that. Okay, guys. Well, I guess I'm gonna call it a day, and I gotta say, it's a great model here, guys. Alright, see ya.